And while they, speaking of R. Kelly, while they handing out indictments, they need to give him one too.
Girl, everybody.
And I'm gonna tell you why I say this.
That's what I'm saying. When this trial is over with, I do believe
it's gonna be raining down indictments.
And you see how that one tour manager, he's trying to immunity deal.
Yeah, that's what Demetrius.
Demetrius Smith, he's trying an immunity deal.
Did I ever tell you he called me on Facebook before on Messenger?
What? Demetrius?
Yes.
For real?
Yes. He called me to ask me to pray with him.
How did he know you? Like, look, come on now. You got to tell us the whole
story. Start from the beginning with this.
What happened? Hold
on. Don't tell us. This might have to be an exclusive story.
Oh, wait, we can chop this video and make it a video. Okay, so now, Miss Sislo, what had happened?
Come on, sis. Come on, spill the tea, sis. This is an exclusive, y'all.
Listen, I had no idea well, I'm going to tell you what happened. And it might be in my friend's archives. You remember when they had put the second part of that R. Kelly thing out?
The Surviving R. Kelly?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Surviving R. Kelly on Lifetime.
This was around the time he called me. If I go through, let me see if I could go through my Facebook. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm searching through my stuff.
And while you're searching that, I put the link in the chat to the video that I did the other day on the situation with Aaliyah's music and her estate. So I put all the details in that video.
I'm gonna look through here.
Somebody is outside letting off fireworks.
Girl, I hear some loud noises.
No.
So,
I'm like 2 miles from you, and I hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, Miss Sislo, are you serious?
Yes, I'm not lying.
So can you go through like is that what you're doing? You going through your Facebook
Messenger? Yes.
Oh, child.
He called me on.
Was it this year? Was it last year? Was it?
It had to be about 2 years ago.
I'm about to take a picture and send it to you, Tanya, so you can see.
Girl! Hold on, wait a minute.
Thank you, Vibrant Law. I appreciated the questions and the conversation. It was very therapeutic to get that off my chest. Friend of mine on Facebook.
Thank you, Vibrant Law, for tuning in. I'm so glad you found me over on Sir King's channel. I try to get on Sir King's in his chat when I can, because he be going late and I got to get up and go to work in the morning. Sir King sometimes he don't even come on till midnight.
I'm about to text it to you, Johnny.
Make sure you come back and continue joining us, Vibrant Law.
Yes,
we appreciate you being in the chat, and
thank you
love when people come and they
yes, I love when people be all in the chat commenting.
Yes,
I love it. Like some people be watching from the bushes.
Come on out, talk to us. Okay, that's what we're here for.
Like we don't bite. We might get a little controversial every now and then, but we all love each other on this platform, and that's what the Hood Table is all about. The Hood Table.
Check your phone. I just sent you a picture.
We discuss everything from the hood to the White House on the Hood Table. Have a good night, Vibrant Law.
Later for now, baby girl. Baby boy, person, love you.
Okay, I'm checking my text messages, Miss Sislo. I don't see it yet.
It'll pop up in a second. I just took a picture of the call.
Hold up. I probably need is my data on? Hold on, let me make sure my data on. Because sometimes when I'm at home, I don't have my data on. I just be having it on the Wi-Fi.
Yo, look at it.
But yeah, it's on.
What I was going to say about, while she looking at it, what I was going to say about Barry Hankerson, yes, he basically gave his niece to R. Kelly on a silver platter. He knew what that man was about.
He was the one that
been his manager.
Yep.
Before that, he had been there around this man prior to bringing his niece.
Since she was 12. He
started bringing her around when she was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if y'all are supposedly monitoring her and being around her and this and that, how was she ever able to allegedly get pregnant by this man, how was she ever able to marry this man? And they have refuted that claim for years. They weren't married.
But we already knew it.
My thing is this. Here's the key thing that people don't pay attention to. Okay.
Look at Tone. He said we always in somebody's business.
You know that.
Where you at, bro? Jump on the link.
But my thing is this. If they didn't get married, how you annul something that didn't happen? Mm-hmm. How you annul a marriage that didn't happen?
Mm-hmm. Well, see, my thing is this too. For anybody out there that's going to have their children involved in any type of entertainment business,
you better be
there. If you cannot quit your job and be there 100% when they on tour, when they on stage, when they at hotels, when they at the after party,
somebody that
when they
trust.
get their hair, nail, and makeup done, when they you have to be there, because there's too many people out here in this industry, and it still is too many predators taking advantage of children.
They ain't praying for you. They
in the entertainment business. Not only are they most likely taking advantage of you by what you're making off of it, as far as monetary wise, but they're also taking advantage of your child, be it male or female. And that's the thing. If my son was, I don't care if it was just a J.C. Penney catalog. I'm going to be there for every shooting, everything.
Yep.
You're not going to have the chance to try to take advantage of my child.
Exactly.
You're not. And that's where parents fall short. Now, granted, not all of them know about what's going on behind the scenes. But when they do find out about it, in R. Kelly's case, like one of the reasons why he's so broke now, he ain't got two nickels to rub together, is because a lot of parents was like, I'm going to take you to court. And he was like, well, hey, can I just shut you up by paying you this amount of money? And again, I keep going back to when he was first sexually assaulted by the old man, the old head in his neighborhood, and his mother pressed charges. Yep. They whooped that man's ass. They pressed charges. He went to jail. But when that man offered $5,000 to silence his mother, she took it. Yep. And that was the very beginning. That's one thing his brother talked about on the Lifetime series, Surviving R. Kelly.
That's what told him. We learned from watching his mom.
$5,000. And then along with his sister, being a predator to him and his brothers, it's like you get screwed in your family, outside of your family, and ain't nobody doing nothing about it. And that's what I think started the whole situation. The monster. That's what created the monster.
Also a lot of, think about it, and we can argue about this all day long. You know me, but a lot of these girls, they parents sold them to him, basically.
Mm-hmm. And even that's why I said, even if they didn't know about it, you still selling your child to them by accepting that money and not pressing charges. Well, that is something that's going to be on your child's mind and brain and mental for the rest of their life.
My thing is this: anybody who left their child around him by themselves
after 2008,
after Aaliyah, when you found out he was 27 and married a 15-year-old, who you gonna blame besides yourself?
But see, I have to.
No, hold on. And so after the video, I remember distinctly because I was pregnant with my son.
Okay.
In 2002.
Okay.
When that video came out, so. If you still was around him and partying with him and allowing your underage children to be around him unchaperoned after 2002, start pointing some fingers at yourself. When he got off on those charges in 2008, he kind of felt invincible. You can tell he felt like he was Teflon, like nothing was going to stick to him.
There you go.
When he did that interview And the man asked him, "Do you like teenage girls?"
What is teenage? What do you mean by
When
teenage?
you say teenage, what do you mean?
Girl, did you see what he said? What they said about him in court the other day? That he said back in the day that he loved young girls, and he don't see why everybody is all up in, what's the big problem with everybody with him liking young girls when he's in his 20s and 30s?
And my thing
No,
is
no
this.
problem with
Okay,
it.
now you
No,
have
no
two
problem with it.
daughters.
Did you get the
When
text?
you have two daughters, I want him to take that same stance when a 40-year-old man is trying to date your 15-year-old daughter. Have that same energy, sir.
Did you get the text, Tanya?
I sure did, and I'm tripping because of what I did was I went and looked him up on Facebook, and it is him because a lot of people is commenting about the R. Kelly case. They said, "Why you cut up with Judge Donnelly like that?" on one of his posts the other day, and we know Judge Donnelly is the judge over the trial.
I know it's him.
I know it's him. So this is what
I didn't finish telling you the story.
Hold up. While you telling us a story, I'm going to send this to my inbox so I can show it on the screen.
Okay. So the way I got to know him was a friend of mine who is a music producer. During the time when they had the part 2 of the documentary, he had a live on Facebook. Now, mind you, this guy knows. He knew Aaliyah. He knows. He was on during that time. Was when they had that tour with all of the old school cats, Omarion and Batman, and then what's that group used to be named?
Immature.
The Jam thing or whatever it was called.
The Millennium Tour.
Damn, boo, there you is. So he was the
look at her name. Look at her name.
Help her out, sis. Help her out.
No, I'm talking. Look at her name.
She didn't.
Look, she really playing CP tonight. She really playing CP tonight.
I'm
CP, you doing CP tonight for real?
I miss you, dog. But anyway, look, I miss getting into it with you. But anyway, so look, he would the guy that I'm talking about that who was alive was on. He was the music director for that tour. So check this out. All them cats, Q Parker. I think it was Q Parker. I think it was one of the guys from 112. Like a bunch of people.
Yeah, Q Parker's from 112.
All of them was chiming in on that live.
Oh.
Demetrius came in on that live. They were talking about the R. Kelly thing. So they was dropping, everybody was talking about what was going on and how a lot of this stuff that these girls were saying were true. Okay? So Demetrius was on that particular live. We became friends on Facebook from that live. So we have been following each other back in. Now, if you look at that date was somewhere close.
It was January 22nd of 2019.
There you go. And you can see that he initiated the call. You can see that I prayed with him and I got off. See, it only lasted a couple minutes.
Trying to get everything in the picture here.
Right. And then you can see he said, "Thank you for your prayer. Your prayer was powerful." And I just did my little ministry thing and got off of there. So, he had called me for prayer, but he didn't say what he needed. You know, he said specific. He said, "Pray as the Lord leads you." So I did. I'm not going, because of being in ministry, I can't disclose what I prayed about because I wouldn't do that. So I did pray with him or whatever the case may be. Now, I did, however, recall some of the conversation from that live. And that's why I remember when I was telling you about earlier about the immunization, being immune to being prosecuted, and this, that, and the other. That's how I knew. I'm talking about Tanya because that's what I was talking about earlier. That's how I knew that he knew a lot more than what.
Oh yeah, he had already seen it, and I had seen.
Now I haven't been following the trial, so I don't know what he said. As far as I know, the things he said on the stand were some of the things that he said in that lie. He knew that she was underage. He knew she was pregnant.
He went and got the documents.
Get the ID to get so they could get married and things like that. Some of the bodyguards, some of the other people that worked with him on tour, they was all in that live. And a lot of them was like, man, I knew it was going to come to something was going to happen at some point. He was like, a lot of stuff was going on. And if they ever find out what really went down, something going to happen. And then those tapes, that box of tapes or whatever it was, is what got him hammered. So I knew back then that there was more to what that first documentary had revealed because of what that live said. But girl, if you could have been a fly on the wall, you would have wanted to be in that live. Now, I could probably go back if he still got it up, which he probably don't, but I could probably go back to all of his lives and find it. But it would take me a while because that was like 2.5 years ago.
Right. But well, I just want to show, keep on talking, but I'm going to show his Facebook page too, so people can see it's the same profile and people on his page talking about the court case, the trial that's going on right now. So people know it's the same person.
But this is what pisses me off.
I ain't clout chasing.
Yeah, this is the same person that you spoke with a couple of years ago in your inbox, which was R. Kelly's former manager, one of his managers.
But now, see, this is what pisses me off about all of this. Like, I ain't been following the trial. I got real trials going on. But y'all knew this. Y'all all seen this. Why did none of you stop this?
They stated it in the trial. R. Kelly, I'm telling you, Carmel Diva, like a lot of people didn't tune into the Lifetime Surviving R. Kelly series because a lot of people was like, oh well, it's their fault, they should have known better, oh well, let them go free, they just trying to ruin a black man's career. A lot of people didn't really believe what really happened. They just think everybody was just out there for money, and that was not the case. He was like a monster. He was like a Jekyll and Hyde. He would snap. He beat them. He spanked them. He held them. He kept them locked up in rooms.
In buckets.
He was a realized terror, and people
had to ask for permission to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, but people think it was all fake.
They couldn't eat.
They couldn't eat, they couldn't drink, they couldn't use the bathroom, they couldn't take a shower.
The only clothing that they were allowed to wear
was boy clothes.
Sweatpants and oversized shirts.
Yep.
And all of them had the marching lines with their head down.
Yep. And Demetrius even testified how they would get in trouble. His employees would get in trouble if they even looked at the girls, if they spoke to the girls. They pay would get docked. I mean, a lot of people stayed with him. We might as well say it as far as the employees because of the money.
But
they wanted to stay in his circle. They knew this shit was
wrong. So why? Okay, yeah, you couldn't say nothing when you was at work. You leave that motherfucking house. Why you did not call the police? You knew what was going on.
Some people quit.
So you are just as complicit to me. In my book, you just as complicit as he is.
And that's why Demetrius took immunity deal to testify against him. But a lot of people, like you said, I believe it's going to be a lot of indictments coming out. And this is his Facebook page right here. Demetrius Smith, author D. Smith. Now you see right there where it says, I have one mutual friend.
There you go. You see me.
That's Miss Sislo.
But I don't want my name on there. No.
Yeah. Nope, I didn't show your name. I didn't show your name. It just
I know you didn't. I just
Yep, it just says one mutual friend. But I'm not gonna show your name. But then if you go down to prove
2.5 years.
And if you want to prove that it's really him, somebody on August 25th said Demetrius Smith the GOAT. And of course, that's not a lot of proof right there. But if you go further down, it says, hold on, let me get to it. Oh God, where did I see it? Oh my God, did I pass it?
Well, you see where his hometown is, right?
Oh, yeah. Let me go back.
You go back up.
I just saw it. Oh, right here. Okay, the post that says August 21st, driving over the bridge. August 21st at 6:09 p.m. Demetrius posted driving over a bridge. And in the comment section, you see right here, somebody said, "Why you cut up with Judge Donnelly like that?" And Judge Donnelly is the one that's over the case.
Mm-hmm. Now go back up on the left hand side.
On the left hand side?
Yep.
There you are.
No, above the picture.
She didn't want her picture and name shown, Tanya.
Right here. Slow down.
Well, she told me to scroll back up.
Right here.
Yeah, but she was trying to show you the hometown.
That's okay. I can always blur it out. I can blur that out.
That's okay. He's from Chicago.
Yeah, I can blur that out. Yep, and he says he lives in Los Angeles right now.
Right.
He's from Chicago,
Illinois. LA now, but he's from Chicago, which is where
R. Kelly. Yeah. So
now,
yeah,
one thing I say that's ironic is everybody that's from Chicago and has a story, all got a story about this damn McDonald's that he hangs out at.
Yeah, the McDonald's, that's where he met boys, girls, he met all of them at the McDonald's because they said that was like, okay, Karma Diva, like,
and
you know, on 30th Street, back in the day on 30th Street.
What is wrong with these people? Why are you not turning a pervert in?
But remember how back in the day, Karma Diva, though, we used to all hang at the McDonald's on 30th Street. And remember, they eventually built a police station.
And we still kicked it at the McDonald's.
We used to kick it hard at the McDonald's.
Right. That's where everybody met up. Police station.
That's where everybody met up, at the police station at McDonald's back in the day. We kicked it. So I'm thinking it was like... So I'm thinking it was like the same situation with Kells in that particular McDonald's. It probably was like a real popular hangout spot. And welcome to the Stream 2216 production. Hey, beautiful.
Hello. But I'm saying they knew. So why would you not say something? Everybody had a story. Why would you not say something to get
money? Money. And then if you've been following the trial, or watched the Lifetime movies, Lifetime series, you know that a lot of the stuff he recorded, he would record them doing wild, outlandish, embarrassing type of stuff that you wouldn't want nobody to see. He forced them to write letters home saying, because he would, beat on them, and they would write letters home saying, something wrong with me. I'm hitting on myself till I bruise, and he made them write letters saying, if you leave me, I'm gonna say that you raped me. He would make them write all kind of letters, and then he would take those letters. Now, I heard about this a few years ago on Lifetime, but he would take those letters and he would give them to his attorney just in case he ended up in court on a trial, as in the one he's on today. And that's exactly what he's doing. All those letters that he has them write, his lawyers got those letters. It was a whole... man, I'm telling you, the way that him and his crew, him and his entourage, his empire, the way it was ran, it was R. Kelly's way or the highway. And a lot of people wanted to be in his entourage. A lot of people wanted to be in his circle. A lot of people, back then he had good money. Them people was making a lot of money off of him. And they looked past the...
Apparently, they never went to church or read a Bible.
They had no moral.
Miss Sislo, help me out with this one. I can't remember where it came from, but I know it's in the Bible. What profits a man to gain the whole wide world
and lose his soul? And lose his soul.
Yeah, that's the word of God. Hallelujah.
2216 or Tone, y'all got anything to say about this trial that's going on?
Hey, y'all. Yes,
Hey, beautiful.
I do.
I love the accent. I love the accent.
I'm kind of on the fence. Not to say that I don't believe that R. Kelly did some of the things that he's been accused of, but I believe this was a money grab for a lot of the parents. And I think some of these parents need to be in jail. I think I would not have given, and I think you probably need to go back over there, that he asked for immunity, but he was given immunity. And the way I was reading it today is that he really didn't need it. I think he had already copped a deal with the prosecutor.
Yeah, he had already copped the deal before. But when he came to the trial time, he tried to plead the fifth when he asked the court. And they said, you can't plead the fifth because you already made a deal with another judge saying that you can speak with immunity. That's what he tried to do. Yep.
But don't you think
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, 22.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is something that I'm going to say as a people, because right now my people is the only people I'm concerned about. But as a people, I think we just need to get our morals together, because I can't imagine what is it in this world that I would sell my soul for or help participate in pimping kids out. That's all it was. A big pimp game.
Yes.
And because he had the money, people, did what there's no way he could tell me to hand a young girl, a child, a telephone, a piece of paper. Because I from what I understand from the hearing, is that his staff had to walk around with his number on a piece of paper or something like that.
And they would hand it out to kids at McDonald's, at the concerts. Yep. They were recruiting them.
They were doing it in malls.
In the malls. They were recruiting these kids.
This is much bigger. There needs to be more indictments.
Amen.
Exactly. And those indictments are not going to come until our Black women stand up and demand it.
Yep.
We are allowing too many of these predators only in our communities to get a slap on their wrist and go right back out there and repeat what they got prosecuted
and
for.
You know what they say, sis? We say I don't want to do this to another Black man. I don't want to turn him into the system. I'm supposed to support this Black man, but to what lengths? To what?
That's what they've been saying for years. That's basically what they've been saying for years about R. Kelly. We trying to ruin a Black man's life.
But that's not just him either. But see, my thing is in when are we going to be supported? When are we going to be protected?
Well, like 2216 said, she said we need to have morals. And that's one thing I had said before she jumped on here. A lot of them people didn't have morals. It was a money bag. And I agree partially with what she said about the parents too, because not all the parents knew. Like some of the parents, let me keep it like this. Some of the parents didn't have a clue. Like I'm a parent, but listen, I'm a parent. And I don't know all these celebrities out here. I don't know all these rappers out here. I don't know all these R&B artists out here. Some of the parents had no clue. Like R. Kelly, as popular, as famous he had be, if you had a parent like my parent who was in church, she couldn't tell you one rapper's name, but probably Tupac. I mean, she didn't know these people. And then some parents, when they found out that, this might be an opportunity for my child to make it in the music career, some parents didn't know on the front end, but on the back end, when it was time when they found out, and they took money in order not to press charges on him. To me, it's the same as if they found out on the front end and handed him over. To me, it's the exact same thing. That's why I said I partially agree with 2216. Some of the parents weren't just selling their kids, but I feel like on both ends, it was a money bag, and even the parents should be prosecuted for not for not, because imagine if the parents and the managers and his advisors and everybody around him in his circle, from the maid to the butler to the cook, said something in the beginning. That would have saved all these young people and women from being abused.
Can I say?
To sit there and put these kids up, and you know what this person has done to your child, and instead of prosecuting, you take the money. So now your child has to live with the knowledge that money was more important than their safety, their sanity, their health, their quality of how their self-esteem.
Yep.
How they feel. I mean, hell, some of these people may be so traumatized they see a man and get.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, I will say this. Now, you know me. You know I have been saying since the beginning, and I'll keep saying it. I do believe that he did quite a bit of this shit.
A lot of, yeah.
I do believe that there are quite a few victims.
And some unknown victims that ain't never came forward from embarrassment or...
After watching that Lifetime shit, I'm not gonna lie, I don't believe all of them and all of their stories. I don't. That's me. That's just me. Some of them sound very, very credible. Some of them I'm looking at side-eyed. Like that, what's her name? Kitty Jones. Bitch, you was a whole grown-ass woman.
Who had a radio personality career. Yep.
So, were you a victim or were you a volunteer? Just like his ex-wife. I've been saying it from day one. If you watch Drea, and whatever the hell she called herself. First of all, she didn't become a victim until after.
Okay, I hear some background noise. Is that 22? Let me mute you, 22. Okay, thank you.
She didn't become a victim until after the money started drying up. She stopped getting them checks, and then all of a sudden she went on this hobo tour of being a victim. But I wish I could remember, because I watched so many videos, but I know I remember seeing somebody interviewed, like when all of this was coming out, that said that she participated in some of this. So
she
I don't think it was her. I think it was that other one. I think it was Joyce Lynn.
No, it was her.
It was her.
Because she said she
participated in what exactly?
Some of these girls.
At the early stages of the abuse, she was involved. She jumped on the bandwagon when this all came out, so it wouldn't.
Yep. So she wouldn't be indicted too.
Exactly.
My thing is, I think you're right, Karma Diva. I think that some of the women only came out after the money started rolling in, but I don't deny that they were not abused. I think that some people, when it comes to money, and it comes to being just being with this popular man that a lot of women might back then would have wanted to be with, I think after the money left, they were like, fuck this shit. This shit ain't even worth it.
Drea, to me, she's just not credible, because look at her.
She ain't.
Watch how she moved. Like, she was on Hollywood Exes, never once. She talked highly of this man, even though they had just gotten a divorce.
Yep.
She was marrying a whole nother man. Yep. And he called himself the king of R&B. She was like, "No, baby, there's only one king of R&B."
And wasn't she playing his music too on that video?
She was, in the video with her boyfriend
on a date,
car, singing his song. She was on a red carpet, talking about buy his music. Yes, go out and support my ex-husband and this and that.
I remember.
Oh, you doing all of this, and he done did you so bad Why you want to hang on to the last name of the man that done did you so bad?
Yeah, you gotta.
I still think it was because of the money. I still think it was because of the money, though. The money was rolling in. But I still believe that it has something to do with the money. Like she wasn't getting all the child support that she should have been receiving at that time, but her child support didn't stop to like after that. That's when she really came out. Oh, he tied me up. He hog-tied me on the side of a car and all this kind of stuff.
She wanted to be hog-tied.
I think a lot of them, and I could be wrong, but I think a lot of them, the money was like worth it. That's what I really think. The money was worth what the hell they were going through.
That's a good point.
And once it stopped, I don't think that they are lying. I don't, because it's just too many people testifying. His managers, his road managers, his tour managers.
Some of them women, your stories are too, I mean, they sound to me, some of them girls, they stories, I questioned. My question is, all of y'all came together at one time.
What's up, 2300 Jackson Street?
All of y'all stories are pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. Some of them sound a little rehearsed.
They're the same because they all experience the same thing.
The same exact thing?
The same exact thing.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure he switched it up.
He had these women locked up in different rooms in his house.
Just another thing about Drea. You in the house. How do you not know?
Now I think that she, like I said, I don't think out of everybody, I swear to God, out of everybody, I think she's the one who is the most what do you call it, non-credible or uncredible or whatever. I think she is.
The nutritionist said how Drea came and went as she wanted to, and then when she needed money to go get something for food, some kind of food. So Drea opened her purse up, her wallet. She had stacks of hundreds and all kind of credit cards, but you didn't have access to money, and you couldn't. Bitch, please have several.
No, now she makes her own money though.
But yeah, she ain't got no broke.
Not when she was in R. Kelly, she wasn't.
No, not when she was with him.
She had her own business ventures on the side though. Yeah, remember, she was a dancer. She was a dance instructor. She was a choreographer. She choreographed whatever you call it. For a lot of celebrities. She had her own thing on the side.
Let me say this because I want to, before I forget, because I will. So let me say that this is why when 2216, that's a long name.
That's my girl though. 2216, that's my girl.
Yeah, no, I love her to pieces, but it's a mouthful, and I can't like her. So let me say,
wait. What'd she say?
She said 2216 is a whole mouthful. She talking about the name.
Trying to say the whole name at one time, so
she just called you 2216.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna shorten it too. I'm taking production off.
No, you can leave it, girl. You can leave it.
No. I've been wanting to change it. It's gonna be 2216, but that 2216 is tied into what we're talking about.
Yeah. That 2216 has it's bigger than just the numbers. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you mind explaining?
Well, Karma Diva, I'm gonna let Miss Sislo keep going. But you remember the story that we did on the pastor here in the city? That's
we're gonna do it again.
That's the address of the church, 2216.
Oh.
Okay, now go on, Miss Sislo.
Okay.
So when my sister 2216 said that we got to stand up, and that some of the things that we need to do in order to kind of bring this stuff to a halt or to do something about it, so to speak. This is why I jumped in from the very beginning in the Nature Boy sector. Is because I was in the group that was taking him, trying to bring him down, trying to put a halt to the things that he was doing. If you look at the Nature Boys, the Brother Polites, and of late, allegedly the young pharaohs, people like this, allegedly.
Allegedly.
My thing is first of all, women gotta stop giving them the upper hand.
Right.
You gotta learn your own self-worth, your own self-value. You gotta have your own self-respect, your own self-confidence, and things of this nature, to stop giving these people the upper hand to make it feels like they bring value to you, they define you, or they bring value to your life, or define your life and your destiny. Then you end up giving control to these people, and that's what they want. They don't want a little; they want it all. And it's basically they all pick people that they have a targeted population. All of those women are people who feel like they need someone to help them to accomplish certain things in their lives because they feel like they can't accomplish it on their own. Then they feel like the guys pick women who they know they can easily manipulate, somebody they can easily control. And that's where we got to stop. We got to stop giving airtime. That's why I don't follow up behind the Nature Boy thing or anything, and very seldom. I got to the point where I can't stand to hear his voice.
I know Tracy be on that girl. Tracy be on everything, every move he make.
She just started on it though.
But she's been on it for a while though. She's been on it for at least the last year. She's been on it for at least the last year.
About 4 years now. And it's to the point to where I don't care how many women we have sent money to get them away from there, to get them home to a safe place. If they didn't leave, they went back.
Yeah.
And very few of them left and didn't come back.
Well, what about what's her name? The one who had went back, her father, the one who's Velvet. She ain't went back, right?
No, I don't think Velvet is going back at this point.
I hope not. I really hope
about somebody else and everything. So I
hope she don't go back.
But the thing of it is like the young lady that went back, she was on the sick to the point where she was in hospice at one point because she was so sick. And he denied her health care until she started getting so sick that she started smelling.
Yeah.
She was so infected that she started smelling. But they give control. They praise. They worship these men. They worship the ground they walk on. But it's time for the people that sit back and view and send them.
Send them money, cash out, PayPal, super chats.
All of this, girl. All of this.
They think it's just entertainment. They just think it's entertainment.
We just bought a new house down in Georgia.
They make a lot of money.
Big, huge house. He's flying private jets back and forth to Puerto Rico. They just went to Vegas. They're taking all these trips, and these are all from women and weak-minded men that's supporting this cat.
I will not support Nature Boy.
Stop them from getting those clicks and views and the money from the advertising or whatever they do.
I didn't even know about him. I didn't even know of his existence until y'all hipped me to him.
Girl,
I didn't even know.
That's why I used to think it was fake. Because I'm like, everybody who keeps watching this stuff and sending them money if he's really abusing these women and beating these women and passing these women around and giving them all kind of diseases. And I mean, it's like that's one cult that I do not want to be a part of.
I couldn't even watch one whole video. I was like, who is this simpleton, and why are these simple-minded people following him?
They do it. He just beat one of the male followers, and one of the other male followers bashed his cult wife's face into the wall. He beat her so bad and smashed her face into the wall, and they stayed.
And on video, he would lock the girls up in the closets and talk about how he's keeping them locked up in the corner and in closets. I mean, he does all kind of stuff. But what was you about to say, 22:16, about it's being Bible?
Yeah, but what we're talking about, you're going to see more of that. in the last days, because I think it's Timothy, God talk about speak about perilous times, and how the enemy will come along and lead silly women astray, never knowing and never coming to the knowledge of God. You're going to see this happen more, but it's going to be so important that we begin to build ourselves up in God, because you got a lot of leaders out here. First of all, they're not leaders. We are allowing people to take on titles and have positions that they're not qualified for. So then you get these silly women. I've been there before. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of silly women out here. And we begin to follow these people that we have dubbed the leader. And they're not leaders. They're manipulators. They're con artists. They're perverts. They're predators. We need to start calling these people out for who they are. Yes. Brother Polite has always been a predator.
Child, speak on it.
Okay, now who is this man?
Hold on a second.
Girl, you gotta look him up, Brother Polite.
And it's spelled P-O-L-I-G-H-T.
Yes, P-O-L-I-G-H-T. Yep.
But ain't nothing gonna happen until it comes through the womb of the black woman. We gonna be the change in our community.
The way you talking.
We got to have that kind of tenacity, that kind of fire when it comes to these perverts, because they at your kids' bus stops, they in your kids' schools, they in your kids' grocery stores, they at Costco, they at Walmart. But when I worked for CenturyLink Center, Mecca, for 13 years, and when we had events like Sesame Street, the circus, they had undercovers in there just for the perverts.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So until we get mad, like I'm mad, what I inbox you for, Tanya, about, that's all about me being mad and sick and tired and have to stand on my 10 toes for what I know is right and what I know is wrong that is going on in our community. We got to call these Negroes out for who they are, or they'll come and lead the silly young women astray.
And I absolutely believe that, because that's like one of the, like, even in the R. Kelly, like, and that's not just with him. He ain't the only famous predator out there. We see him getting locked up every day. Different ones, white, black, hip hop, R&B, managers, producers, it don't matter. But when we keep silent and don't speak about it, that's what keeps them fueled. That's what keeps them, going and going. And it won't stop. It won't stop as long as people just sitting there and letting it happen.
And that's why I keep saying, why is no one saying anything? Why is no one turning them in? And then, people say, well, they got to do it in their own time. Okay, I understand that. But
I don't.
There is a time is of the essence. Yeah. Because in order to prosecute this person and get them off of the streets,
you gotta make sure so many years don't pass by so they can say, you
need to speak up, speak your piece, speak your truth.
Yep.
Let it be heard.
Yep.
And stop. You know how you feel. You know how you felt. Stop it from happening to somebody else.
Yep.
Stand up.
Absolutely.
And I've literally been that person in my family. Like I keep my eye out for, if somebody even looks like a predator, I'll ask a child in the family in the hot second, niece, nephew, whoever it is, anybody ever touch you? You act a little different around this particular person in the family. Is something going on? I've always been that vocal person when it comes to that, because I've been there as a child.
I watch people, and I watch how people move around other people.
Yep, that's
me. See, that's a true test. It ain't sometimes it ain't even necessarily what you say, but if you watch people's moves, watch how a child, because trust me, children are so honest. Watch how
they can send you a message without even saying anything, without even saying a word. They could be sending you a cry for help by their actions around particular people in the family, like those uncles and those nasty cousins.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come here. You want $1? Come here. You know, and the child is like, I don't want to.
Come here, give me some sugar. Come get a hug. At first, I used to make my kids, go get him a hug. Then I said, no, I'm not going to do that. My baby don't want to hug them. Keep it moving. I said, now you will speak. You will say hello. But you ain't got to hug them. You ain't got to give them no sugar.
You ain't got to sit on their lap because what I was taught, should no little girl be sitting on no grown man's lap anyway.
What about the little girls? What about the little girls that we go to church on Sunday, but we let them go to the bathroom by themselves?
Oh, no. Remember the story I told y'all? When I went to church, now 2216, we ain't even gonna say his name, 2216, but you know exactly who I talk about. When I went to the bathroom when I was a little girl, he pulled his thing out in the corner and tried to get me to come to the corner with him, and he was a whole grown man, and I was only like in the 1st or 2nd grade. And I took off. I took flight and I ran. I didn't know why the hell is his pants down and he holding his stuff. I didn't know what was going on at that age, but I knew to run.
Somebody were to ever touch my child.
Don't get me heated. Just talk about it.
They not going to jail, but I will be.
I like that, sis.
I know that part. I ain't going to jail.
Now that's Tone's level of thinking. That's
I'm going, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna sit there. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna do because that will be premeditated, but I will. What I am going to do, I'll admit this, I'm going to sit right there on the porch or the curb or whatever and have my last few drags of my cigarettes before.
I'm going to have my last little drink. I don't smoke, but I drink. I'm going to have my last little drink and I'll be sitting there like this.
I'm going to let them know, yes, I did it.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. I have never been molested. My daughters have never been molested. I thank God for that. My sister has never been molested. I think that my mother was very protective of us. But when I went through my experience over there at 2216, I was taught a lesson of how people just do not give a damn about other people. I learned how men manipulate. I learned how leaders manipulate and take advantage of people. It's the same spirit. It's the same spirit.
And that's why I want to do a show. Me and 2216 been talking about this.
I
want to do a show because what I'm sick of is people in the community always saying, fight for our community, stand up for our community, stand up for our rights. If something going on with the schools or the government or the mayor or, social injustice, a cop done kill somebody, stand up. They out there on the corner. They on Dodge Street, on 72nd Street. But when it comes to kids being abused in these churches, in these schools, in these homes, in our own community, people do not want to speak out. And they are letting predators stay out of prison and continue to prey on other people's children.
I got an idea.
What's that?
We'll name it the Clean House Committee.
I don't think I want to know.
No, we'll just name it we'll call it the Clean House Committee. For everything that everybody knows, you make an anonymous hotline for folks to call in.
Oh, wow.
Then we get to investigate, and then guess what? There's 2 ways we can go by this. Them some you win, and them some you just gonna lose.
You know what, Tom? That just reminded me.
The legal system will pay us a pretty penny to clean these up, I promise you. Because they ain't gonna get all the
You own something. He owns something.
That just reminded me, y'all. Hold on one second, y'all. That just reminded me. About a week or so ago, somebody, I don't know if what they're saying is valid. I don't know if what they're saying is rumors. I don't know if but they never reached back out to me when I responded to them. I told them, good evening. Can you provide more details pertaining to this matter? And what is the name of the child care center? And I haven't heard anything after that.
Because we can't,
because I don't know if you're telling the truth or not. And I'm not saying this person who came to me is lying. I'm just saying, I'm not even calling anonymous. Police 911. Because that's just how I feel about children and their safety from predators. So I won't know. See, that's why I get what you're saying. 222-16, and I love you. You know I do. But I just feel like, why aren't you calling the cops?
I agree on that.
Because while we taking time to do interviews and all this shit, and I'm just like,
why would you call a talk show? Girl, this subject right here, I'm gonna go.
This subject is a very hard one for me too. Like if I know that somebody's being molested, I don't care if it's a family member, a friend's child, a neighbor. I'm going to speak out, and I'm going to call the law. Even if you call the law and say, even if you call the police and ask for a wellness check, that's still doing something. That's still doing something.
The detective that did the investigation for that case and get him on the show. Because people need a really insight from, I think, a detective perspective of what goes on and what they have to face every day. Can you imagine every day you go to work, you got to hear of a child being violated?
Yeah.
These some punks out here. What they really need, we need our brothers to quit trying to lead us, quit trying to be our preachers, and start chasing these dudes down, getting them. I mean, beating them up, seriously. Doing something. Can we get some kind of justice in our neighborhood? Can our black men stand up and do something to protect our kids in the neighborhood? I bet you couldn't get away with this kind of stuff in Detroit. Them black men is going in there and they shutting it down. They ain't having no coon meeting. Like Kwame Brown say, the go along, get along game. That's what this is all about. We only call out certain people. I said it. We got to stop letting these people come in our community and take advantage of our people. We know more better than the white man. I said it, baby. I'm sorry, y'all. This is my subject. I leave.
She said it.
Like that baby at Costco they had on TV. Now, they ain't studying about that black baby. You could tell that baby was in distress. They just snatching our babies up and doing whatever they want to. You know what
happened?
You know how many black babies get missing out of Texas, getting sent over that border?
They are selling kids, getting rid of
kids.
What
happening to our black girls? They disappearing.
Yeah, they are.
No trace. No trace.
But we got black men in our communities want to be leaders, but y'all not even protecting us as women and children.
Because they all on payroll.
Black women to respect that. That's why I'm a firm believer. Black women, we got to birth this thing out. We got to get in order. We got to get in order about this kind of stuff. It's too many kids getting snatched up by these predators, and we sitting around having some goddamn meeting. This is crazy. We got to protect our babies, period. I don't want to hear nobody else speaking in tongues. I don't want to hear nobody prophesying. I don't want to hear nobody laying hands. The next Sunday morning sermon should be, go save our kids. Stop me when I'm lying. I'm mad. I'm mad at waking up every day, seeing our kids being molested and violated, and grown Negroes sitting back in the cut like, oh, well, it ain't nothing. You supposed to call
like R. Kelly.
Them. If they don't answer, you hang up and call back.
Yeah, a lot of them have the same mentality as R. Kelly. Like, what's the big deal? So what? I like young women. What's the big deal?
They need their ass whooped too. They need to be pointed out. That's the problem. Ain't nobody pointing them out. I don't know if they got folks on know or scared, but you know, and I don't know too. Then again, if you really do some shit like that nowadays, even correcting it like that, you still end up getting punished by somehow, some way, because it's like, you know, if you think about it, the system also recycles these clowns in and out too, because it's always something about, you know, they can, you know, they rehab, or I don't see how it works, but I'm with you with that one. So sister number 2216. Hey, it's all good. I mean, you
hey, baby, I'm so mad. I'm just telling you, I think I'm fed up. I'm fed up with it.
I feel you.
Fed up with it.
Yeah, you got to protect the babies, man.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to protect the kids. The children is the future. That's where we really we lost as a community. That's where we lost kind of like our glue at, because when we protect one another, I mean, there's nothing in the outside that can infiltrate. Now we just all lovely go as you come, pick up a rock and a dandelion and a lullaby and float throughout the day. That ain't how it's supposed to go. You know what I mean? I mean, you gotta protect your family, your loved ones, just like this. I mean, it's just, if you look at it, just like y'all, I heard y'all earlier was talking about the kids. And, I already know how y'all women gonna get down. Mama Bear is gonna literally go to war to death, gonna fight to death for her cubs.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, you don't underestimate anybody. You don't violate nobody. I believe that we all should really look at not just within ourselves, but as like you say, the family, because a lot of this shit, honestly, I believe every last black family that's existing will probably have to have a purge going on if the truth was to come out about who's been elected or violated, and that would be a sad thing.
But they don't, and that's the problem.
That would be a sad thing, though, man, because that's sad.
Like a couple of generations ago, it was cool for an old ass man to sleep with a 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old. It was
I ain't never seen nothing that
no, I mean, we weren't born then, but that's how it was. It was cool to marry a 12-year-old. It was cool to marry a 13-year-old. It was cool a couple of generations back. That was no crime. It was no crime.
The life expectancy was different. Yeah. They was dying at 40. They was old.
Exactly. So that was nothing to even call the cops about a few generations ago. So I believe after that, the next generation, which is our parents, a lot of them still was in that belief. Like, okay, it happened to me. It happened to my friend. And, in the 50s and 60s. And so, yeah, it's the 70s and 80s now. But it was cool back then. I think a lot of the mentality of our parents, our forefathers, just carried on this last generation. Whoa. But us as a new generation, this should not be going on.
Come on,
y'all. Come on now.
It shouldn't be going on.
When you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Damn right. Shit. I mean, come on, y'all. Now I ain't on the strength, and they ain't even interrupt. But I got to say this because you gotta really think about it. At the rate this shit is going, like you said, these kids and all this shit is getting kidnapped and molested. These is our children and grandkids, so we can't really blame our parents or the grandparents for the ones that still are, have loved ones that are still around. I mean, you can't blame. We can't. No, we gotta look up in the mirror ourselves and gotta clean house. Because if we don't clean house, eventually the Creator gonna clean house, and that's something that we've all vouched and will hope to have. But I don't think we really want it like that, because when He clean it, it's a whole lot of folks there. It's gonna be a whole lot of funeral homes packed. Yeah, it ain't gonna even be this person going to jail. No, it's gonna be a whole. Mortician's gonna get extra rich.
Yep.
At that moment, because that man going for straight justice. It ain't about to be. That's one thing you don't do. You don't violate no child. Period.
No.
And if anybody that knows, and if anybody's listening on this, as my grandfather, the late great Bishop Richardson used to say, as we tune in on this on this live TV studio broadcast, if you know what it is, like, if y'all really know that children or anybody, elderly especially, is getting abused or taken advantage of, don't be afraid to reach out. But you guys also got to understand too, sis, that there's also some people that don't want to deal with the police because they may have before and they didn't get no results. So people are looking for any and which way, however way that they can get the word out.
But now, I just feel more comfortable with if somebody reach out to me. If it's like something that's happening like right now. Like some people come to me and they tell stories of things that happened 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. But if it's something that's happening right now that we can do something about it, I'd rather not speak about it on my show, but rather direct them to call the cops. Let's see what the cops gonna do. If they gonna get arrested, and then maybe we can speak about it because it's out there in the public, it's on the news and stuff like that. But for somebody to be making accusations on somebody who's abusing children, and we're just discussing it, like what? Like no, I think it should go to the authorities.
You shouldn't even have a discussion with them unless they prove that they filed a police
exactly, report. And that's what I ask. That's what I be asking people. Like, do you got proof? Do you got more information? Do you got?
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Like honestly, like even the conversation on what I was saying about the setup for real is like I really wouldn't even want to do a live on this show. Like I'd rather for us that's on here right here will actually have like a little Zoom or a little private little, however, they do the message thing, and actually come up with a blueprint because
they come up with a plan to maybe go to the cops or help them go to the cops or
right. The only reason I say that is because it's good to have. I'll say that it's good to have a detective or two involved. Yeah. That's the point. I mean, here's the thing: you got to still build your relationship with the law enforcement community, whether you get along with them or not.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not saying because see, I'm gonna tell you something. The police they don't even solve they barely solve 5% of the damn crimes. They only solve 5% of the crimes that's being reported. So, I mean, I'm not even really going to 100% depend on them. I'm just saying, though, but when you got a network, I don't know if y'all ever paid attention to, like, let's just say, like, a show, if it used to come out, like, it used to be Leverage, where you had them handful of cats that used to just go around and helping people from all over. You had one that was a hacker. You had one that was, like, used to be ex-military, he was.
I think I know what show you're talking about.
Then you had the one that was the mastermind. Then you had the one that she was the chameleon. Mm-hmm. She was like Sophia. She can just fit in. She was like a drifter. She can fit in with anybody at any position, doing anything at any given moment. And then you had the thief. Well, basically, she could get in and out of any situation or thing.
Right.
So when you have a network of people like that, when you looking at like all of us on here got different resources and different levels of resources. You see what I'm saying? So it can be mashed out to where it's like, okay, let's run it through this pipeline. Let's run it through this. It's nothing. But yeah, it costs us a little bit. See, there is a cost. The cost is what? Certain like stuff like certain software, certain things like certifications or licenses to be able to get access to certain databases instead of having to go to dark market or black market where you got to hacking. I don't want to do all the hacking. I want to do it up front. So that way, if there is a case or something involved, guess what? That means that it ain't, they just can't take the what you call it, they can't just take all the accolades and the credits themselves. No, it's a community thing. Some of us can remain anonymous. Some of us may want to be out there in the front. It don't bother me. If they know me, they do. If they don't, they don't. Not my problem. I'm not about to just make myself known if I'm out here like really get some things solved and all that, because I'll be damned if I get caught. Somebody want to be like, well, hey, you was that person that got such and such caught all up, and that was my cousin or that was my brother. He going down for life because I ain't got time for that. That ain't, that may come with the territory, but at the end of the day, I'm not really worried about that because that's wrong thing to move on your end if you do that. But point is that I'm making is that just, you have to be very cautious too, because sometimes people or someone or something or somebody may try to set you up for the okie doke and say, well, let's see if she's going to report this. She always talking about this and every damn thing else. Let's see if you see what I'm saying? No, you good. I mean, it's like, let's see if she'll talk about this. Well, let's see if she's gonna report and go and actually go and investigate who this person is, and then just blow him all out there. You know how they gonna get to talking shit about him, and then it's gonna spread, and then the whole time this dude could honestly be honest. I mean, innocent. Who knows? Mm-hmm. People. I mean, you got.
And that's why I say I'm not going to.
You got
it's too easy. It's too easy. And while there are lots of things that we can cover on the hood table, a lot of times I like to cover things that are already out there in the public, in the open. Like a lot of times we cover news stories, not just allegations. We cover mostly stories that are already on the news, already in the newspaper, and we're just giving our thoughts on what's already out there. But when it comes to something that's not out there and people want to tell me about these allegations and stuff like that, like in this situation, if a child is being abused at a daycare, call the cops. Why aren't you calling the cops? You can even make anonymous calls to the cops these days.
But Tanya, you got to think about it, though. Let's think about it. Maybe the child just really don't know to call the cops.
But it's not a child. It's a grown person.
It was a grown person?
Yeah.
Maybe the person just don't know.
It's an adult.
But hey, think about it. It's not a common practice in our community. It's not something she might have known to do. I mean, like you just said, our parents, you know what I mean? Where our parents were, we are the generation, you and I are the generation that is now speaking about it. And maybe it's something new for her as well. That's how serious this is. And that's why it's so important. I put myself in a position maybe about a month ago where I really allowed myself to just like be spiritually flushed out. And I made a decision that I will only participate in things that are going to make a difference in my community, my family, just think positive things. Mm-hmm. And I just think for me, I found myself being caught up in a lot of things that were not going to have a positive effect in our community or in our world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, and I don't know why I got off on that, but I'm just saying that you'd be surprised what people don't know. If you haven't been told to call the police, and maybe we need to start campaigning.
And that's what I would do. If that person was to contact me again, I would say, have you reached out to the authorities?
Maybe we should give out a guideline. Maybe we
should create a
pamphlet to say, hey, this is what you do if you ever run across a situation like this. If you find a child,
or for instance,
we can do that. You can create that. That'd be very positive.
Right. And if you know there's a child being abused, have you talked to their parents? Like the first thing you do is come to the hood table. It's just certain things I'm just not.
That's how we got our community is messed up.
I know that. And like I said, for generations, that's how our community operated. Especially if it was a woman who was married to a man and she knew that man was abusing her children. This is the guy who married me. He's the one who took me in. He's the one that accepted me. He's the one that paid the bills. He's the one that, I love him. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was for generations. This day and age, we need to cut that out. Really, and go to the authorities.
A little girl and rape and kill a little girl. I mean, you'd be surprised who just really don't know.
You have to go to the authorities.
So we got to get busy on what is important. That's what that's pretty much what I was trying to say. We need to get busy on what is important and not waste time with bull crap. We got to save these kids.
Yeah.
It's like the community think it's okay to sleep with kids.
Right. And it's not okay. It's not okay. That's why, again, I was a little scared. And like I'm saying, I'm not calling the person who hit me up a liar. I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is there's no way I would know that a child is being abused and I go to a TV show or I go to a radio show or I go to I'm calling the cops. I mean, the Crime Stoppers. There's so many ways you can report a crime without them even knowing who you are. Right. And while you reaching out to somebody and waiting for them to get back to you, this child could be abused over and over again, or another child as well. So in certain situations, I think you should go directly to the authorities. And then if you want to talk about it later, let's discuss it. But that's just how I feel.
We're gonna have to.
We got to be proactive. We got to be proactive because while that child, like, let's say a child is being abused. Let's say the person who's doing it, in the end, like a lot of abusers, in the end, what they do, they get rid of that child so that child can't testify against them. So while we up here contacting social media about it, we could be alerting the police and maybe rescue that child from being further abused or killed, or another child as well. We have to be proactive when we even if you do a wellness check, you have to be proactive.
Tanya, do you think that they tried to contact the police or something and maybe they didn't get anywhere, so they felt
they didn't say that. All they said was they kept creating Facebook pages to talk about it. So why are you creating Facebook pages over and over again instead of calling the authorities?
I think it may be like what Miss Sislo just said. They may have called or contacted the police.
But see, they should say that then when they hit me up. I think they were banking. I think they were listening. The police ain't taking me seriously. I need to go. We need to make this like there. And then the fact that they never responded to me when I reached back out to them and asked them for more information. I even asked for the name of the childcare. Nothing.
I believe it's just what Tone said. That they were hoping you would put it out there, and then
I'm not just putting that shit out there. Nope.
That's wisdom. That's smart.
The only thing I will put out there, and people been following me long enough. If I put some shit just straight out there after I heard it, it was on the news. If somebody goes to jail for drinking and driving, assault, whatever, murder, yeah, we might talk about it on the hood table because it was on the news. It's public information. But some private shit like that, and you not contacting me back or giving me more details, no, I'm not just going to jump out there on my channel and talk about it. Nope.
Tanya, this is a very important topic here.
It is.
You could really, you should think about bringing someone from the on, and
that's a good idea. Bringing somebody on for like maybe maybe social services, or maybe somebody in the. We done had a few cops on here before. Carmel Diva will tell you we didn't interview a few cops, a few police chiefs. If like the KKK, the white people, racists, whatever, if they would say something on their deathbed, do you imagine how many stories we would hear?
Oh, I heard stories about like if you go and read or watch some of the documentaries, like I had no clue about the Atlanta child murders until about 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. And
I don't think he did it.
And
I don't think he did it.
Karma Diva. You don't think he did it?
Do you think he did that?
I
think it's a setup.
There is
let me find some articles. Keep talking.
I think he did some of them, but I think it was more of the older ones, not the younger ones. You know what I'm saying? Because
dang, they said 28 children.
Yeah, and like 2 adults.
And adults.
Yeah.
You think he really killed that many people?
No. I think he did the 2 adults. I don't think he did the kids. Although that one boy did, the one boy that got away, and which is how he got in trouble. Which is how he got caught. The one boy gave a perfect description of him. And that's how they found him.
No, I thought they found him.
And this was a nice looking. This was a nice looking black guy.
Yeah, he wasn't back in the day.
Wayne Williams is not good.
Yeah, Wayne Williams.
Yeah, Wayne Williams.
You think he good looking?
I'm looking at his picture.
Now,
look again. You got
to look at him back when he got arrested, honey.
Oh, I see an old picture. He had a big old afro. Okay, I see him.
Yeah, he was nothing to be looking at.
Yeah, I see him.
I know he ain't got cute that fast.
No, but he's nice looking now.
So why? Okay, Alicia, why do you think? Who was that who said? Alicia said she don't think he did it.
I don't.
But that boy gave a perfect description of him, which is how they knew to look. Well, they kind of knew to look for him in their car. And that was how with that in the bridges, because they was throwing the bodies off of the bridges.
But do you think he might have been a copycat, Alicia? Do you think he might have been a copycat, or just not involved at all?
I think it was a white individual that did the crime, and they found somebody that they could blame it on. I just believe that.
Now I did see an interview with this man who they sent to infiltrate the KKK.
Mm-hmm.
There are documents that are missing, and the man said he was at meetings. Like one particular little boy, he was riding like say I think it was like a big wheel or something. He was like 8 or 9 years old, riding down the street and hit this man's bumper on a big wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And the man said, "I'm gonna get that little nigga."
Ooh.
The little boy came up missing and was later found dead.
Ooh.
But check this out.
They did these because they wanted to bring the KKK back, and they wanted to start a race war. And they were saying that, think about it, it was only like maybe 2 or 3 little girls, which is another, I don't think those were really connected to this, but they were taking out the boys because they said the boys they grow up to be men who can then fight them back.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the women, they wasn't too concerned about them.
Yeah, that's why a lot of predators against boys, once they got so old, they would either have them recruit other little boys, or they would just be done with them after they got like teenagers, or
But in the Wayne Williams case, the Atlanta murders, most of the parents don't think he did it.
Well, they said, what am I reading right now? They said
that one lady, the one mom, I do believe she said she didn't believe it either.
No, it's several of them. It's almost all of them. If I'm not
mistaken. What I'm reading now, it says he was never tried for the other murders, mostly children, just for the adults. They said also those cases were closed, but as of 2019, they have been reopened in hopes of modern technology, helping out.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. With the modern technology, they might find
Wayne Williams and kill them boys.
That's a lot of kids.
My opinion. That's a lot of bodies.
You got to watch that Soledad O'Brien interview with him. That's a weird motherfucker too.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
You have to watch the whole. O'Brien?
He has
Soledad O'Brien, but there's a whole series of interviews. Like you got to watch the ones from the 80s. Like he did a press conference in his own living room. He didn't want them to show his face, and then like 2 days later, he got arrested.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Because I vaguely remember the story back in the day, but I will have to watch.
I'm talking about Wayne Williams.
Girl, you gonna make me watch this thing again? I probably don't watch.
I'm gonna have to watch it because I vaguely remember it back in the day, but I'm gonna rewatch the documentary.
I just watched them a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
So yeah.
Tone is back in the house. What's up, Tone?
And by the way,
just enjoying the conversation.
Think R. Kelly did it?
Yes.
You said, do I think R. Kelly did it?
Yeah, Tone, answer that question, brother.
Oh, nasty pervert.
You know what? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It's honestly, he did something, but he didn't do everything they talking. I wasn't there, but he didn't do everything that they talking. But the fact is that he did do something. So regardless of what he did, majority or a little bit, just the fact that he did violate.
He done enough.
So he has to pay the consequences for. He's guilty for whatever it is that he did. But everything else that he may be doing, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know. That's
Tone, sad. Do y'all remember, Tone, in 22? Do y'all remember after he was after the 2008 trial? Do y'all remember when he started calling himself the Pied Piper?
He was calling himself the Pied Piper back in the 90s.
Yeah,
but it really didn't. But it really didn't like become like known until like after that trial. That's when everybody started literally talking about it and calling him the Pied Piper. That was after he got off.
That's when them slow people started catching on. But I had already,
my thing is that
it back in the 90s.
Somebody lied to him. And they basically said to him that, hey, man, you can be as freaky as you want. Don't worry about it. And then we're going to cover that up, make sure you're good. They lied to that man.
Yeah.
They lied to that man. That's all that was. I mean, that was his fault.
He did have a song called Getting Freaky in the Club. And it was a banger.
That's his fault for going for that.
He had a lot of bangers.
And he should have got some help. Honestly, Kel should have got some help.
He truly should have.
If he would have got some help, I honestly believe that he would have probably honestly, he would have went. I believe he would have been way better off. And by now, he'd have been already paid his just dues for whatever it is that he did do prior. But other than that, he wouldn't be. I mean, how can you go from you didn't have too much of a good prosperous, you had a working class, had a basic working income upbringing, and for you to go to all that fame and tens to hundreds of millions of dollars, and now your ass damn near looking at the rest of your life in prison.
He impregnated a 13-year-old cousin.
Yeah,
that's doing too like that. I mean, I'm a grown ass man. I'll be 47 in less than the most high say the same. I'll be 47 on the 10th of September.
Anyway, let me real quick before 22. Let me just read the poem of the Pied Piper. For those of the people who might not know about the 1842 poem of the Pied Piper and why R. Kelly might call himself the Pied Piper.
Now, just before you read that, the Pied Piper story is actually older than that. And it is a true story.
Yeah, it is a true story. The poem goes, I'm able, by means of a secret charm, to draw all creatures living beneath the sun, that creep or swim or fly or run after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper. Laid his long pipe a smooth straight cane, and ere he blew 3 notes, such sweet, soft notes as yet musicians cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seems like a bustling of merry crowds justling and pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering. And like fowls in a farmyard when barley is scattering, out came the children running. All the little girls and boys with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, chirping and skipping, ran merrily after. That is the poem that they wrote about the Pied Piper way back in the day.
See, what happened was he came to town. Carmel, and he had done something.
Hold on, 2216. Hold on, 2216. Let her say something real quick, Carmel, and then I'm gonna let you talk.
What you just read to me when you were reading it, that scripture came back in my mind again. That in perilous times, how the enemy was going to come and lead silly women astray, where they would never know and never come into the knowledge of Christ. I'm paraphrasing, but it is Bible. It's in Timothy. So it's kind of like a forewarning of what you know what I mean? It's kind of lining up with what was already spoken in the word. Mm-hmm, that these kind of men or this kind of behavior, this kind of spirit is going to lead silly women astray. Am I right?
And children. Mm-hmm.
And children.
Yeah. And what you had to say, Carmel Diva?
I was just saying that the actual story is, I'm trying to remember what he came to town for. He had a coat of many colors. Mm-hmm. And the townspeople were supposed to pay him money for something. Some people say it was he used the I want to say like the Hans Christ, the fairy tale version is he came to rid the town of the rat problem they had.
Oh yeah, I think I heard something about that before. Yeah.
If you play, and it was supposed to be he charmed the rats with his magic flute, and they were like, "Well, if you get rid of these rats, then we'll pay you such and such and such." They didn't think he could do it. He did it. He came back for payment. They were like, "Oh, we didn't have no payment." And so he was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna get my retribution." He came back, played his flute, charmed the children, and he actually did. I don't know how he did it. 150. He got away with 150 of the town's children. Supposedly, he locked them in some kind of cave, and they were left there to die.
Yeah. Yeah, they said when the citizens refused to pay for this service as promised, he retaliated by This is crazy because it's not like the Pied Piper totally is the exact same thing that Kells allegedly did, but it so correlates. Like, for example, remember the 2008, right, when he got that trial. What did the trial got? Not dismissed, but it was acquitted. I will never forget how the parents were the only one out of the entire community, teachers, coaches, the little girl's classmates, her friends, her auntie, Sparkle. Everybody said that's the little girl on the tape. And the only people that said it wasn't was the mom and the dad.
But that's because the dad was being employed by R.
Kelly. Right.
Kelly.
His dad was employed by R. Kelly. He was one of the band members.
He's like a guitar player or something.
Yeah, the guitar or the bass player. Yeah, something like that.
Isn't that sad?
And it's just like I said, it's not. They weren't like the same. The fairy tale or the story that they say is a real story. It wasn't quite exactly the same as R. Kelly, but it's just some things are really similar. Really similar. Like some of the parents, even like I said, even for the people who say parents just willingly threw their kids at him, I don't believe all that to be true. I believe that some parents really probably didn't have any idea. But once they found out, I believe they took his money to stay quiet. And to me, that's still like the same thing. You still threw your children under the bus. You still threw your children under the bus. And it's like, I don't know.
So during this trial right now, since he was acquitted of those charges,
because of the
last trial,
and because they kept her from testifying.
No, should they be allowed? Should any of that trial be allowed in this one?
I think
a double jeopardy situation because he was acquitted of that.
See, my thing is
no, because that's federal and one is state. The state charges and the federal charges are different.
See, my thing with that whole case, Carmel Diva, is the fact that the child was only in junior high. She didn't have no say so. She couldn't. Her parents forced her not to testify. But as a grown ass woman now, I feel that child should have the right because she didn't have her rights then.
Is she testifying?
No, she's not. But what I'm saying is, I think if she wanted to, if she was like, well, damn, I was 13, 14 years old at the time. My parents forced me. She don't know the law. When you that young, you don't know the law. You don't know.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Exactly what the young lady that is now coming out and doing a documentary about Charlemagne the God.
Yeah, right. Because her mother, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That little girl, she should be allowed to tell her story because she was a child.
I was gonna say that, and he running around talking about, oh, I was proven not guilty. No, you wasn't.
You pleaded to a lesser charge.
Right.
He was not proven.
And the mama never showed up to do the DNA test. The mama
and she kept her daughter from testifying. The same thing they did with Sparkle's niece. Sparkle's niece, as soon as she found out, she took it there. Sparkle was the only one that stood up for her niece.
And she lost her career after that. Remember?
That would hurt me so bad if I knew my little niece or nephew was being abused and I went to the law and they parents sat there in court saying that's not my child. You know what not only did Sparkle say it, but the girl's classmates, her teachers, her coaches said that's her. All the people saying that's the little girl. And her parents was the only ones to say, nope, that ain't our daughter. And they wouldn't allow their daughter to testify. But the father remained on his staff as one of his musicians in his band. Now, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. It might not have happened on the front end where they knew what was going on, but on the back end, it's still just as bad. It's still just as bad. And I'm sure, like other allegations, that family took money. I'm positive. I'm positive. And that's why he's so broke. Like that man, the music, the catalog that he has, and he is like, he don't even have a cent to his name. He can't even afford to pay for his transcripts in court. He's broke. And I believe a lot of his money was from paying off people to be quiet so he could continue being the Pied Piper. But that's just me, child. That's just me. And I don't know what happened to 2216, but is there any last things you guys want to say? You three on the panel with me before we wrap it up?
I'm good. I just enjoyed the night.
Me too. This was a great conversation topic. I don't know what's going on with 2216, yeah. So I thank and appreciate all of you guys. And Karma Diva, whenever you're ready to celebrate our 1 million views, because I am like so over the roof.
No, baby, I'm sorry.
It's okay, babe. I totally understand. I will not do it without you. I just won't. I don't care if it's 3-4 months from now. No, for real.
Oh, Lord, no. I hope it ain't that long. No,
for real. For real. We'll have more views, too. You know. And we can celebrate by then.
I didn't even see you were on here tonight, sweetheart.
Yeah. But anyway, you guys, I enjoyed our show tonight. And I'm going to chop out the exclusive with Miss Sislo. Miss Sislo, if you want, I can send you a copy of that so you can have it, your own copy, if you want to upload it to your computer.
That sounds
to your channel, because that is like your story too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
good.
I can send that to you, or I could send you the link to where you could you know how to download videos, right?
Just send the copy, baby.
Okay, that's what I'll do. Because I think that is really like, that is something that for you to speak to him, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I do want you to be able to show that on your
contacted me. I didn't contact you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would like for you to be able to have that on your channel. So and no, I'm not gonna flag you. I'm not one of those people who are like, y'all got me on video right now. I'm not gonna give her permission to use my content and then flag. See, some people do that shit on YouTube. Yeah. They do though, huh, Miss Sislo? Sure.
Oh yeah, baby. But you know what?
Get mad at you, you getting a beef. Oh, I got something for your ass. I'm gonna flag you. But yeah.
Oh, and I need to call you anyway because I gotta get the names of some nice hotels in your area.
Okay, you coming out here with me and Are you driving? Are you driving or flying?
Flying.
Okay.
So my friend said he would help me with airfare. So he got my airfare. I just have to pay for my room. So he said wherever I want to go.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up.
I want to come and hang out with you and Caramel Diva
and Miss Caramel. Miss Caramel.
And y'all gotta find CP somewhere. Dig him up.
Oh, he gonna show up.
Oh, we will. Oh, you already know he'll show up. And you know Karma Diva, you know what else?
And what's the other girl name? Be at your house.
Lynette? No, Keisha.
Keisha.
I'll let her know too. She stays like 2 blocks from me. So
I'm trying to come around. Do y'all celebrate Sweetie's Day? No.
What's Sweetie's Day? You about the Lovers Day? They call it like Lovers Day or something.
No, it's a northern holiday. It's not Lovers Day. Honestly, it was created by a candy maker. And what he did was he made candy on a certain day and he gave it to the orphans in Canada. It spread. It was a particular day in October. So
I thought Sweetie's Day was for couples.
That's what they adopted it as. But
okay, well I know about that day, and we don't. I don't want to say we celebrate it, but I know people like any other. Like yesterday was National Dog Day. So you know everybody celebrates something.
Ain't nothing like the dog in here.
Yeah, but we will talk. That'll be so fun. Yeah. But and Carla Prince, good night, babe. Thank you for tuning in. I love you, Carla Prince. She's always in the cut, in the chat, supporting.
Right.
Yep. And Candace, I think Candace is out, but thanks for commenting in the chat. Melissa King, 2300 Jackson Street, Universal, Vibrant, everybody who has something to say in the chat tonight. We thank you and appreciate you for your comments and your opinions on everything that we've been talking about this evening. And on that note, everybody, make sure you like and share the video. Subscribe to the Hood Table. Stay safe, be blessed, and what else, boo?
Stay vigilant and keep it hood.
That's right. All right, y'all. Yeah. Peace and love. Holla at y'all.
Deuces. Bye.
All right, y'all.
And I'm going to talk to you later, Karma Diva, because I'm supposed to be a judge for the barbecue cook-off next month, and I want you to be there with me representing the Hood Table.
I'll come and eat.
No, you're supposed to have. Well, I guess you gotta eat to judge. So yeah. All right, hon. Love you guys.
I love you.
I love you too, sis. Peace, y'all.
Good night. Bye.